Welcome back, Stern Grovers from around the world, to the virtual education program presented by the Stern Grove Festival Association. I'm Dr. Jaz Sawyer, and today we're going to talk about the style of jazz music. So for part A, we're going to play some demos, talk about some rhythm that you might hear, and have some fun with some jamming. So let's go ahead and begin. All right, drummers, welcome back. So again, in our earlier classes, 1 through 4, we talked about the elements of a drum circle and how that relates to playing together, important things like listening and watching so we can communicate musically, and also developing our own musical phrases. So now we're going to talk about different styles of music, and we're going to talk about jazz music, one of my favorites. And my parents love the music so much, they named me Jazz. So as we talked about in our other classes, some of the musical elements that come from the African diaspora made it all the way to the United States. And those elements are still used in the music today, such as call and response. But what's really cool about jazz is it really developed the idea of improvisation, right? So what that means is to improve on an idea. And that means when you develop your rhythm and you're able to create some simple musical phrases, now you can improvise, okay? So have more time to develop a solo. So we're going to concentrate on two different styles today of jazz music: swing style and bebop. Jazz music has roots and influences from all cultures in the world. New Orleans was a very special place because not only were there many cultures sharing ideas, food, and their different cultures, but music and instruments. Jazz music was the first popular music of America and one of its most valued treasures. There were some great pioneers of jazz music early on in the early 1900s through the 20s, including Jelly Roll Morton, Buddy Bolden, Bix Beiderbecke, Miss Bessie Smith, Ma Rainey, and throughout the early 1900s and 20s, that sound would carry all the way to New York with the original Dixieland Jazz Band, and of course King Oliver with the young Louis Armstrong. And they would play up and down Chicago to New York and other places. So the early jazz musicians used musical phrasing, arranging, and improvisation along with the blues and all the good stuff and put it together, and we got some really great sounds. Swing music was developed in the late 1920s throughout the 1930s all the way going through the 1940s. So it was a very evolving music. But in particular, there were many great bands that helped move that genre along, such as Chick Webb, the great drummer in Harlem, and he featured a young Ella Fitzgerald, the Benny Goodman Big Band, as well as the great Duke Ellington and the International Sweethearts of Rhythm. So this was a time where the music had a lot of energy, a lot of participation, and played off the dancers. So that's what we're going to look at as some of those swing rhythms. So this is a style you've heard in previous years, but now you'll be able to identify the style on the next festival. Drummers have a lot of responsibility to keep the time, keep the groove, keep the tempo, and keep up with all the accents between all the horn players and the dancers. And there's actually a rhythm part for the drummer called the swing pattern. And that is played on our hi-hat cymbals or our ride cymbal. I'm going to have you snap on beats 2 and 4. So let's just try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. The drummer may also do some accents to make it a little more interesting, but never taking away from the groove. So let's hear what that sounds like. 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Little accent there, right? Here's a little faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right hand is going to play the ride cymbal. Our bass drum is going to play the quarter notes. Our left foot is going to play beats 2 and 4. And then our left hand is going to improvise and keep up with the band and the dancers. Now, of course, this takes time to practice, but what we're going for today is to listen for the style, right? And the style we're talking about is swing. So you have a really big, powerful sound, but what's most important is you keep the groove and keep it swinging, as they say. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, of course, again, this takes time and practice to get up to this speed, but I want you just to hear that sound so you'll be able to identify a swing style when you hear it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get softer too. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. let's see what it sounds like faster. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to introduce the rhythmic pattern of the triplet. All right, now the way that we break down our triplets is we're going to refer back to our eighth notes. So our eighth notes, as we remember, we count those 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So triplet means we have a group of 3 eighth notes. Okay, and the way that we count the triplet is by simply saying triplet. Okay, so that's how we break down. That's 3 eighth notes with a number 3 on top of it. Okay, and that's what it looks like. 1 triplet. Okay, and then if we're looking at one measure, we're going to look at 4 triplets. Okay, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So now we're going to use a little call and response, but this time I'm just going to play the swing pattern, and you're going to respond with 2 measures of triplets. Okay, so for example, I'll play 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and that's where you hit your triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Good. 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll try it with you this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. Good. I'm just going to do a little improvising using triplets around the drum set. Okay, let's check it out. So I'm going to do 4 measures of time and then 4 measures of triplets and different combinations of the triplets, okay? Just so you can get an idea of the sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. notice there I used a little dynamics in the way I played that snare drum. Did you notice that? When we refer to dynamics, we are talking about how soft or loud we play in the music. Okay, drummers, now it's time for you to improvise. So I'm going to keep time for 4 measures, and then you are going to solo for 4 measures. Okay? So I want you just to be creative and have fun with it. There's no wrong way to do it. But I want you to keep in mind your quarter notes, your eighth notes, your 16th notes, and your triplets. If you're at home and you have a few drummers, just take turns. So if there's 2 of you, right, you guys will switch. If there's 3 or 4 of you, leave that space for the person to improvise. 4 measures of keeping time, 4 measures of improvisation. Okay, so talk amongst yourselves and figure out who's going to solo first and who's going to solo last. Okay, good luck. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, get ready. 4, 2, 3, 4, solo. 2, 3, 4, time. 2, get ready for the next solo. 3, here we go. 4, 2, next solo. 2, 3, 4, time. 2, 3. Here comes this next solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. One more solo. Here we go. 1, 2. Here's the last soloist. 1, 2. Here we go. 4, 2, 3, 4. 3. Let's all end on 1. 4, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to talk about the style of jazz called bebop. And bebop is a really fun and exciting style of music. It has a lot of improvisation, and it's very complicated for the musician because there's so many notes to choose from, and you have to make it sound real good, and sometimes at a very fast tempo or even a slow tempo. So very challenging for the musician, but also very fun and interesting for the listener as well. Some of the prime bebop innovators included alto saxophonist Charlie Parker, trumpeter Dizzy Gillespie, the great Max Roach on drums. Charles Mingus was one of the great bass players, Thelonious Monk on the piano, also Mary Lou Williams, who is a great pianist and arranger. And she did a lot of arrangements for the big band folks and the bebop folks as well. We're going to keep our swing pattern going, but you're going to hear my left hand and bass drum do a little call and response. Let's try it at a medium tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try a really fast tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 8 bars of bebop time and 8 bars of soloing or trading. Okay, this is what we call trading eights in bebop. So we have time for 8 measures, and then we have improvisation or a solo for the next 8 measures. Okay, let's see what it sounds like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that really fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations, drummers. You have completed Class 5, Part A of our musical styles, talking about the genre of jazz. And we talked about the 2 different styles in jazz, which are swing and bebop, but there are many different styles of the genre. Now, swing is the music that was played in the big band era, and a couple recommendations for you to check out is Chick Webb and Ella Fitzgerald, A Tisket a Tasket, Sing 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 by Benny Goodman, and of course, Duke Ellington, Take the A Train. Okay? And one more for you, the International Sweethearts of Rhythm. So those are some big band recordings you can check out to familiarize yourself with the styles. We also talked about the bebop style of jazz, which can have regular tempos but really fast tempos. and more importantly, a lot of improvisation. And again, improvisation means to improve on an idea. And that's listening and responding to all the musicians around you so that you can create musical phrases that fit with the style of music you're playing. So some bebop recommendations for you I want to suggest is Thelonious Monk. He has a song called Blue Monk. Very cool song. I also want you to check out the great vocalist Sarah Vaughan with an arrangement of How High the Moon. Another recommendation is the pianist Bill Evans and his trio with a song called Autumn Leaves. So that's a really cool one where you can hear the rhythm section playing together using a lot of improvisation in the bebop style. Also, Charlie Parker, he has a song called The Yardbird Suite. Very swinging tune, but a lot of improvisation in there. Check out a song called Cherokee by drummer Max Roach and trumpeter Clifford Brown. Very fast tune, but really swinging. Dizzy Gillespie, A Night in Tunisia. And that's a really cool one because it has a jazz feel and a Latin jazz Afro-Cuban feel, which we'll talk about next time. And as you listen to these albums, keep in mind all the things we've learned in our drum circles, how to start and stop a song, listen for the dynamics and the tempo, listen for the improvisation, and the music will even become more enjoyable. Also, I encourage you to continue to explore music and all its different styles. Once again, I'd like to thank the great team at the Stern Grove Festival Association for helping us put on the virtual education program. So we will see you next week for our Music Styles Part B. And look forward to seeing you then. So signing off, I'm Dr. Jaz Sawyer, and we will see you next time.